Okay, so we're making dressing, and I literally use the neck bone, the giblet bag. Of course, it'll have like the liver. I don't use the heart, and then the gizzards in there somewhere. But I'll bring all that to what?
So we don't have to talk about all that.
I'll bring, yeah, okay, they don't want to talk about that part, but I'll bring all that to a bowl. I'll put onions and celery in there. And you can just put how much ever you want to taste. We're actually making like 4 pans of stuffing, dressing, because we're preparing it for the FFA Thanksgiving dinner for the high school. So the it just kind of depends on how much you're making, but how much you want to use in yours. But we're going to bring this to a bowl and cook it down. Of course, it's onion, celery, and then just the neck and the extras of the turkey that some people toss out, but I actually make giblet gravy with it. So, but we're going to do this first, and then we'll come back. So we have 4 pans of
Jiffy cornbread.
That's right, Jiffy cornbread mix. You just use the instructions that are on the package or the box. I am not this big cornbread fan, but I love Jiffy cornbread. And people turn their noses up at it, but that's what I use for cornbread. That's with my beans and ham, and that's what I use for my dressing. So we will bake this. It's best to bake it like a day ahead of time and just leave it out so it kind of dries just a little bit, so that it'll absorb the things that you put in your dressing. But we are kind of short on time for that, so we are going to bake this, and then we will come back and show you how we make the dressing. Okay, so this is our onions and celery, and then I added them to the kind of, you get that little bag in your turkey, and then you got the chicken necks, and there was already I put water in there to cook those for a little bit. Then I added the celery, onion, and I just added a whole stick of butter. So I'm gonna put the lid over this and just let this rest, and then we'll actually take the chicken off the bones, add it back to it, and that's what we're going to use to make our dressing. Okay, so once you've baked your cornbread, you'll want to crumble it up in a big pan. We're using a pot because it's just the biggest thing I had for all of this, because we're making like 4 pans of it. So once you get it baked, you want to crumble it up, put it in the pan, and then you can see in the bowl is where we have our chicken stock with our celery and onions and butter is what I put in there, and then chicken stock that we'll add to this in just a minute. Okay, so Kaylee's crumbled up all of the cornbread, you can see, and then I'm just gonna add, since we're doing 4 pans.
There's 2 pans right there.
Oh, this is 2 pans?
Yes, 2 pans.
Okay, sorry. I'm gonna add basically like 2 tablespoons of poultry seasoning. Again, we're not picky about the brand, but I'll add 2 tablespoons per pan, and then we're gonna mix that up. Just kind of mix it around. This one's a hard one for me to like tell you exact measurements, because I kind of do it till it's kind of absorbed. Okay, so this again is my mixture that we cooked in the extras from the turkey, and of course I put water in there, cooked it down, and then I added celery and onion, just how much ever you like. It ends up probably being about a 2 cups to a pan is what I normally do. Whatever you're, how much ever you're doing. So we're just gonna add it. This is just 2 of those, yeah. So should we kind of mix this in a little bit?
2 pans, and then we have 2 more pans to do.
Okay.
That's
So yeah, we're making like 4 pans for the FFA Thanksgiving dinner at the high school. So this is 2 pans of cornbread.
That's 8 boxes of
Mix that in, and then I just will add chicken stock until it gets to about the consistency where you can kind of form where it's formed, where it'll kind of form, like kind of Huh?
For the ball?
Yeah, kind of like if it forms a ball, you're where you need to be. So I literally added 32 ounces to 2 pans so far. We'll see where we're at. Of course, I had some in the others I made too, but I'm gonna add a little bit of this to it. Because you just want to kind of like let it. It's best to make your cornbread a day or two before and let it sit out where it dries a little bit. But it's super easy. I used to always think this was so hard to do, and I finally started doing it myself, and I love it now. Everybody loves it. So I get asked to do it
My ass
every year.
4.
Do what?
My ass we were making 4, and I was like, well, we eat 1 pan by ourselves at dinner.
Yeah, we do eat a lot of it, and if you don't like, if you got picky eater and they don't like the onions and the celery, you could just put the poultry seasoning in it and just do some like chicken broth or the broth from your turkey. Kind of ends up, it still tastes good. We just like all the little extras in it. I love me some onion and celery and just about everything. So you can see it's all absorbed. It's soft now again. So it's ready for our pans. So I'm just gonna add it back to the pan. Literally, I cooked the cornbread in, no big deal. And let's probably give it 1 pan. Keep your spoon. Yeah, we're trying not to. Okay, and then we just want to you want to mash it down in the pan.
Trying to make them even.
No, it's fine. It don't matter. We just kind of want to mix it down in the pan. And you can put some more seasoning on top if you want. I put plenty in here, so I'm not going to, but
The plastic spoon's working a lot better than this.
yeah. So then we're got it all mashed down, and then we're just gonna bake it like this. We're finishing up 2 more pans of the dressing, and so if you're making 1 pan, this is an 9 by 12 pan. So if you're making 1 pan, you'll need 4 boxes of the Jiffy mix. A half an onion?
Half an onion, probably like 4 things of celery, like stalks of celery, and then half a box, so it's like 16 ounces of chicken broth, 2 tablespoons of the poultry seasoning. I think that's it.
And then, so of course we use some of the broth from our turkey extras that we had made earlier. So,
So your chicken broth would vary.
yeah, and so,
based on how
and
much you
if
like
it's
it.
a little, once you get in the pan, if it's not like moist, you can add a little bit of liquid or the chicken broth or turkey broth back on top of it
Before you bake it.
before you bake it. So we're actually going to store these in the fridge tonight, cover them really good and seal them up, and then we're going to store them in the fridge tonight, and I'll bake them tomorrow right before we leave so that they're warm and fresh, and I might add a little bit of liquid to them in the morning or before I take them.